Gerry Anderson's new Captain Scarlet, Swarm, adapted by Richard Dungworth from an original story by Phil Ford. Read by Ellis Pagan, Chris Dale, and Jessica Jacobs. Earth is at war with an alien race, the Mysterons, who can kill anyone and rebuild them as instruments of destruction in their war of nerves against the world. But standing in their way is one man, a determined and courageous man chosen by fate and made virtually indestructible. His name, Captain Scarlet. Lieutenant Green's eyes were fixed on her communications screen. She was tracking the approach of a large, unidentified aircraft. "Range?" asked Colonel White.
100 miles. Airspeed 600 miles per hour. Impact 8 minutes.
It had to be a Mysteron attack. Colonel White didn't hesitate. "Launch the Angels."
Angels immediate launch. Let's go. Angels immediate launch. Suspected enemy aircraft approaching.
Minutes later, as Captain Scarlet joined the Colonel on the control deck, the 5 White Falcons of Spectrum's elite all-female fighter squadron, led by Destiny Angel, were soaring from the flight deck to intercept the intruder. "The Mysterons must have known that we'd shoot anything down before it hit Skybase," said Scarlet, puzzled. "It doesn't make any sense. It's a sitting duck." And sure enough, when the unidentified aircraft ignored a final warning from the Angels, a pair of Destiny's Falcon missiles quickly reduced it to a ball of fire. Destiny was about to head back to base when she spotted a swirling green cloud of something pouring out of the wrecked aircraft. It was heading straight for her.
It looks like some kind of insect swarm,
she reported into her headset. Moments later, the swarm engulfed her Falcon, smothering the cockpit canopy and flooding into the engine intakes.
"Mayday! Mayday!"
cried Destiny as flames burst from first one and then the other of the choked engines. With her plane badly damaged, Destiny needed to act fast.
"Detaching pod,"
she said coolly. "SIG," affirmed Colonel White over the radio. The Falcon's nose and fuselage fell away as its self-propelled escape pod burst free. But the swarm continued to attack Destiny's cockpit, and the situation was worsening.
"I don't believe it,"
said Destiny, horrified.
"These bugs, they're eating the metal."
As the first bugs penetrated Destiny's cockpit, Scarlet strode purposefully from the control deck. It was time to take action. In the stricken escape pod, Destiny's last hope, bailing out, deserted her. The swarm had damaged her parachute. "Can you make it to Skybase?" asked Colonel White's voice urgently.
Negative, I can't do that, Colonel. They'll destroy the base.
Then Captain Scarlet's voice came over the comlink.
Stay calm, Destiny. I'm going to get you out of this. Just listen and do what I say.
Scarlet had put on a flight suit and helmet and made his way out onto the flight deck. Now, through his headset radio, he talked Destiny through his plan. Fly along the base.
SIG.
Destiny, almost overwhelmed by swarming bugs, struggled to comply. "Stand by to eject," said Scarlet as the escape pod drew nearer. "Eject now!" Destiny braced herself and hit the eject button, bursting from the escape pod. As she plunged earthwards with no chute to slow her fall, Scarlet leapt from the flight deck and dived fearlessly after her. "Slow down," urged Scarlet. "You're falling too fast." The Angel's leader spread out her arms and legs to slow her descent. Scarlet did the opposite, streamlining his body in a desperate bid to catch his falling friend. The ground was racing up to meet them alarmingly fast. Then, moments before impact, Scarlet grabbed Destiny with his outstretched arms. She clung tightly to him as he deployed his chute, and the relieved pair floated gently down to Earth.
Thanks for stopping by.
Joked Destiny. "It doesn't mean I've fallen for you," replied Scarlet. Safely back on Skybase, Scarlet escorted Destiny to her quarters. After her ordeal, he suggested she let Dr. Gold give her a checkup.
Paul, I'm fine.
Insisted Destiny.
I just need a shower before my debrief.
As they reached her door, Destiny quickly kissed a surprised Scarlet. Once inside, Destiny was desperate for a shower after her ordeal. She flicked on some music and went to the bathroom. As Destiny showered, something stirred within the bug-torn suit she had discarded onto the bed. A tiny insect-like robot with 6 spiky metallic legs and a dagger-like head came crawling out of one of the sleeves. On its miniature display, like a sinister eye, glowed the green ring of the Mysterons. Later, Scarlet and Destiny met with Colonel White to discuss the Mysterons' latest scheme. They had clearly meant their aircraft to be destroyed, so that the metal-eating swarm within would be released to attack Skybase. Fortunately, the swarm had targeted Destiny's Falcon instead.
But what were they?
Asked Destiny. "An experimental weapon, cyberbugs," explained the Colonel. "Robots the size of a cockroach." The debrief over, Scarlet and Destiny took the lift together. Suddenly, it jolted to a halt. Scarlet used the intercom to report the fault to Central Control. Lieutenant Green, about to go off duty, smiled wryly as she heard Captain Grey take Scarlet's call.
What's that? Scarlet stuck in an elevator?
As Captain Silver took her place at the communications console, Green headed off wearily for her quarters. A lone cyberbug, unseen, watched her from the shadows. Meanwhile, in the stalled lift, Scarlet and Destiny were pleased to hear the voice of a technician over the intercom.
"Don't worry, Captain. Destiny, we'll soon have you out of there."
The technician opened the lift shaft doors and took a look into the shaft. Inside the lift, Scarlet and Destiny heard a scream, and then a dull thump, as something heavy hit the lift's roof. "Sounds like the guy fell," exclaimed Scarlet. He hurriedly gave Destiny a leg up so that she could peer out of the lift's ceiling hatch. What she saw made her close the hatch again quickly. Outside, thousands of mistronized cyberbugs were swarming around the lift shaft menacingly, while others crawled over the lifeless body of the technician. Scarlet listened anxiously as the bugs skittered about above them. What are they doing up there?
The same as they did to my plane,
Destiny realized in horror.
eating their way through.
Their only hope was a hatch in the floor. A well-aimed blast from Scarlet's laser pistol freed its lock. Destiny and Scarlet clambered out just as the bugs stormed the lift. They hurried down an access ladder and through the service shafts, heading for central control. Suddenly, they stumbled across a green web stretched across the shaft. A cyberbug nest. The robots were breeding. "How about some fried eggs?" said Scarlet, unclipping an incendiary device from his utility belt. He flung the charge into the nest, and the green mesh burst into flames. In central control, things were tense. Colonel White, Captain Blue, and Harmony Angel were clustered around Captain Silver as she monitored the developing crisis over the communications console. The cyberbugs had overrun 7 deck levels and were advancing as though they knew the detailed layout of Skybase. Blue was worried about Lieutenant Green, whose quarters were on one of the infested decks. Colonel White reluctantly authorized him and Dr. Gold to go and look for her, wearing protective spacesuits as a defense against the bugs. They found the lieutenant in her quarters, barely conscious. Cyberbugs scurried busily over her. They had encased her in a weird Mysteron green cocoon.
They're reading my mind.
She explained weakly to Blue and Dr. Gold.
They're using me to find their way around Skybase.
We've got to get this stuff off her,
cried Blue. But Dr. Gold restrained him, concerned that if they removed the cocoon, they might damage Green's nervous system.
I know what they're after,
murmured Green. The cyberbugs were scanning her mind for the location of the main reactor, so they could overload it and destroy Skybase. Keeping the information secret was getting harder by the second. Meanwhile, Destiny and Scarlet were in the kitchens, trying to hold off a sea of advancing cyberbugs. Retreating, Destiny knocked over a pan of water. As the water hit the bugs, they disintegrated in a fizz of sparks. Scarlet saw their chance. "The water pipes, Destiny! Take out the water pipes!" Sure enough, as the pipes burst, the spray destroyed every bug it touched. Suddenly, the remaining cyberbugs scurried off purposefully in a single direction. They were heading for the engineering deck. The exhausted Lieutenant Green could no longer conceal the reactor's location. As the bugs withdrew, Scarlet set off for the engineering deck too to trigger the fire defense system. "It's time to wash these bugs down the drain," he told Destiny as he dashed from the flooded kitchen. But the cyberbugs had other ideas. As Scarlet reached the engineering deck, they attacked him in a stinging throng. Agonized, but indestructible, Scarlet fought his way toward the fire defense system trigger button. With one last desperate effort, Scarlet reached the button and pressed it. All over Skybase, water came showering down, reducing every bug to charred fragments. Later, as crewmen cleaned up the debris of the many millions of destroyed cyberbugs, Colonel White, Captain Scarlet, Captain Blue, and Destiny Angel gathered in central control to reflect on their lucky escape. "Water and electrical systems have never mixed," observed the Colonel. "It's something the researchers on cyberbug development will have to address." "Well, maybe we should keep it to ourselves," said Scarlet with a smile. "You know, just in case." Lieutenant Green was back at her post. Captain Blue was concerned she should have some time off to recover from her ordeal. "Lieutenant, I really think you should rest," agreed the Colonel. But after her recent off-duty experience, Green was adamant.
Unless that's an order, Colonel, I'm staying right here. In fact, I might never go off duty again.